I'm just like you. How could you expect me to be any different? Hey, what's up? What's going on, everybody? So if you have now tuned in to my power recap, let me see it. I know I got some shout outs from last week. I know I didn't do them the week before. A good comment that I saw, I'm going to do two of them. I'm going to do two of them. And so, Nelly Mac 91 was like, so now Ghost will have to kill Jason and Vincent. Plot twist, right? It kind of seems like that may just have to happen, right? Especially now how things are kind of coming out there where they're both kind of blackmailing him, you know what I mean? Also, Black Caesar 21 said, so much for Tasha saying that Terry Silver was her so-called love of her life. She got over him so fast, and now she's dropping her panties for the next sucker. Ghost said in episode 2, Terry Silver wasn't your future any more than Sean was. Woo, that's deep. And guess it turns out that he was right. She moves on fast. Also, I think Angela's ghost is a spiritual manifestation of Ghost's own conscious. Ooh. Ooh. With that being said, I don't think it's Angela saying these things. I think she's saying what Ghost is thinking in his head, if that makes sense. Yeah, it actually does make sense. I don't think the real Angela would have said those things. I'm definitely 100% sure that Angela wouldn't have said those things, because even though she had a few cold-hearted moments, she was never like vicious. Like, yeah, you're gonna do this. Yeah, you need to, and playing with his head and stuff like that. Like, she was always pretty straightforward in what she wanted from him and things like that. So, but this version of Angela is kind of like twisting things up, putting things out there, and kind of letting him choose for himself. It's just, yeah. I definitely agree with you, though. I do have a little bit of some stuff going on. My allergies are kind of flaring up, so we're going to get through this, though. But I might have to cough a few times. Or I might have to stop to blow my nose. But I think my nose is okay for the moment. We shall see. Alright, so Tariq, he's still learning to play chess from Effie. That's his girl. I had to look it up because I couldn't remember her name, y'all. And then he gets a text from Vincent saying that he needs to double on his product or whatever. But the crazy thing about it was that I seen Effie get a text as well. And her text was like something along the lines, and I'm going to kind of paraphrase, is the competition is running low on supply. So that right there lets us know that she's a spy, and she was just pretty much put in the picture to kind of take him down at the end of the day. And that's the same thing I was saying about that dude that Tasha had slept with at her daycare. I was saying something ain't right about him. Like, he could be some kind of spy or something, working for somebody else, the competition or something, and he trying to find his way in. But look at this, it just so happened that it's the freaking girl that was the one who was the freaking informant. Well, not informant, but spy or whatever for somebody. I guess that'll be revealed later on, perhaps, maybe. So now, Jaime, he says he wants to step back from the whole Tate campaign and kind of, I guess, get out of the limelight or whatever. But Romona, she doesn't want him to stop. She wants him to persevere, keep on going, because she feels like she knows his come-up story. She feels like she can relate. And let's be real, at the end of the day, she's ready to let him get inside her she panties and them. So at the end of the day, that's pretty much what it is. We already know. So she's cheering him on, but Tate is like, I agree with him. Like, perhaps he should take a step back. And he's like, at the end of the day, it's my decision. So I'm the boss. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think he really, like, if he didn't need Jaime in some type of way or his funding or whatever, he wouldn't even F with Jaime, because you could see that Tate is the type that he's like a totalitarian government. Is that how you say it? I don't know why I'm trying to say that. Going back to history class, I don't even know why that came into my head. But he's pretty much kind of like one of those people that don't want to share the limelight. He just wants to be the boss man. He wants to be the one in control. He wants everybody to know how hard he worked to do what he's doing and stuff like that. So for him to even be sharing the spotlight with this handsome fella named Jaime, I'm pretty sure it's killing him inside. So if he can get the man to step back for a little bit, then yeah, he's gonna go ahead and take that. This is like a blessing in disguise for him. So now Saks and Bianca, they're working together, of course. They were together and she actually discovered that Jaime is most likely not the one who killed Angela. After they did the autopsy, there's no way possible, from what she said, you know, being a very fair person, and she doesn't have any, well, she has some, I would say she does have some bias in this whole situation, but I feel like it was more so when Angela was in it. She was trying to like kind of compete with Angela, like, oh, there can only be one head Hispanic woman in charge or something, you know what I mean? But now it's like, I feel like she's not as personally invested in it, but then she kind of is. Anyway, my point being is that she finds out that there's no way possible that Jaime could have killed her, because she said the angle of the bullet, it shows that when the bullet hit her right here, it splashed on him. So there's no way, and it splashed on him like right over here or some shit like that. So there's no way possible that he could have actually shot her. It doesn't make sense. It had to have come from above, and I guess, you know, something like that, you know? I was never good with angles, but, you know, that's what she was saying. So Saks is just so freaking hell-bent on, like, it has to be Jaime. I'm like, the fuck is wrong with you? Like, why you want this dude so badly? Like, you act like he has sex with your wife or something. Like, what is your problem? He has, like, this strong vendetta, and he just wants to get him so badly. And so Saks is starting to get in trouble for all the backhanded things that he's doing. You know, working with Dre and having them go to Maria's place because they felt like she was about to get killed. It's like, how did you know this? It's like so many things that he's doing without asking for permission. It's more so like, yeah, I'm gonna do what I do, and then I'll tell you what it is, type of thing. You know what I mean? So some of the parents with the daycare, they're already starting to take advantage of the situation, because you can't give people good stuff in the hood and expect them to do what's right. It's just so messed up. But it's kind of, I know it's stereotyping, but I've seen it firsthand. Like, I've seen it, people just trying to take advantage. You know what I mean? In a lot of places it be like that too, but definitely in the hood. So this mother comes talking about, you know, she had to make it clap and all that. She's a dancer, and I guess she had to be in the club or whatever, making that money. So she wasn't able to pick her son up one time. Well, Tasha let her know, like, all right, there's, I guess, $100 extra fee or some shit like that for every hour or something. So she tried to get over on her, but she was like, she'll give it to her the next day. So that means that she was there late. When she's locking up, there comes this man rolling up on her talking about, I guess it's like one of those situations where the local drug dealer will bully everybody that lives there or has a business there, I should say, to pay him a fee to keep their place safe from them, pretty much. Because if you don't pay him his fee for doing something good in the community, because he runs the block and he runs the neighborhood, he runs the community, then he will burn down your new structure, your store, whatever. So he's been pretty much having these bully tactics. So, you know, it's messed up, but I'm like, girl, I know you wish you could talk to Ghost about this right now. I know you wish y'all was on some real good terms, because he would straight that dude right out. Let him know what time it is. You know what I mean? Now, Dre, he's ready to take the position with Jason, but Ghost reminds him that that's not something that's feasible. That's not something that he'll be able to do because right now he's working with Saks, and that'll put everybody in jeopardy, get them all arrested, and then what? You know what I mean? So he's like, yeah, I think you're screwed again working with the feds. Saks and his boss, they go to see Proctor, and he comes in talking about he want to use the bathroom, and I already knew something was up because, first of all, I wouldn't have let him use the bathroom because it's like, for what? For what? No, you can go back where you came from and go use the restroom there. I mean, I know hospitality, but y'all not friends at the end of the day, and he knows what type of people these people are, so it would be best to not. So he lets him use the bathroom, quote unquote, but he goes and he finds the book bag, the daughter's book bag that had that little horsey thing with the recorder on it. Boom. There we go. So that's pretty much all he was trying to get. Later on, Proctor, he goes to see, excuse me. So yeah, it had the audio of him allowing his ex-wife to die while she begged for him to call somebody to help. I mean, he probably could have still called, but they probably wouldn't have gotten there on time. You know what I mean? Like, he probably could have waited a little bit, pretended. Like, if he would have been like, all right, you know, nobody would have known. But the fact that he was like, I'm not going to let you take my daughter, and he probably hesitated, and it was probably a good amount of time that passed prior to him actually calling in. So, boom. So, it really doesn't go with the story that he gave, which was his daughter found her and then he called in after. That's the story that he was telling everybody. Proctor, he goes to see Jaime, and he tells, they really like got into his head, so he tells Jaime that Jaime needs to kill the witness, number one. Jaime's like, nah, he don't really want to do that. He gave her money, and she could do what she wants to do from here. He's like, Tommy is the one who got her into this mess in the first place. She shouldn't have been involved. So, and Proctor's like, well, this will get us all arrested, so we gotta do what we gotta do. So, yeah, pretty much. Later on, Proctor also asked Jaime if him and his daughter could stay at his house because I'll get to that part as to why he had to do that in a minute. So, the reason why he had to end up asking Jaime if he could stay with him for a while, because he was kind of like being protected, this kind of like protection for him because of one of his clients, quote unquote, but it was actually because of Tommy. So when he was talking to, and this shit is funny because he's trying to now make a deal with Saks, right? So he talked to his cousin about everything, and his cousin was like, yo, just make sure you're not a rat. This reminded me of them 6ix9ine memes that I've been seeing all over the internet. So he's like, yo, don't be a rat, because, you know, I guess it sounds like they're Italian or something like that. Well, his cousin does. Or from Staten Island, Long Island, one of the places. Anyway, because, you know, he got that accent. So he tells him, like, yo, just don't be a rat, because he was like, yo, Tommy was the one that did it. Like, he told him everything. And he was like, it was like that Tommy did it. He was like, yo, trust me, I'm not going to be a rat. Like, I don't care. He was like, yo, if you got to put James out there to protect your daughter, then do what you got to do, even though that's not the person who did it. He was like, and also, so you're not a rat. He's like, trust me, I'm no snitch. Believe that. Next day, or whenever he gone to go see Saks, he freaking tells Saks that Jaime didn't do it, but Tommy was the one that killed Angela. And I'm just like, yo, dude, you just said that you ain't no rat, you ain't no snitch, but you telling the man everything. I'm like, yo. And it's like, this little mother effer, he was still in denial, like, oh, that's not what I want to hear. That's not that. He was like, I need to hear you say Jaime did it. He's like, but that's not what happened, so I'm not going to lie and tell you that somebody did something when they didn't. And I'm like, you know what? At the end of the day, regardless of this man trying to press him and trying to force him to say something that was a lie, I'm kind of with the fact, you know, I can applaud him for doing kind of doing the right thing, you know, saying exactly what he needed to say. Because at the end of the day, it's your family or Tommy. Why am I going to be loyal to Tommy when my family is on the line? You get it? So, but this episode was a crazy one. We're going to get a little more into that one soon. Following that, Tasha, she ain't really doing well financially, as we've seen over the last few episodes. And it's crazy because it's like everything went in a full circle. You know how she used to shop at all the expensive stores in them? So she still had the the tags on some of them. So she tried to take it back to one of these high-end stores and they wouldn't accept it. Maybe it's been too long. I had to delete some stuff because my SD card was full. Maybe they have like a no refund policy or something like that. So all of a sudden you see Keisha there buying some stuff looking like real snatched and just, you know, expensive. So, you know, they kind of talk a little bit and she did ask about Holly. Because funny how when you want some information or you want to know something, you're willing to talk to this person. But other than that, she wants no communication with her. But at the end of the day, Tasha did use her a lot. So I guess, once again, full circle, right? So she says, you know, Tommy's business is doing really well. And she also asks, like I said, about Holly. So Tasha just kind of gives her a warning and tells her to be careful. But she don't seem to heed that warning. She feels like she has this on lock. She don't know what kind of man this man is and how she don't know how many bodies he has under his belt and all kind of shit like that. But she's in for a rude awakening once she really gets enthralled in this whole thing. So Tariq is also playing with fire because he gets pills. Which we later find out was baby aspirin. So he gets these pills and he also has his oxy or what was it? I don't even know the names of these pills. Xanax. It was one of them pills that the young people used to take, right? Well, not even young people, like people take for whatever they take it for. So he was trying to mix it so that he would be actually able to get the product to where Vincent had requested. So he went into some room inside his school to be able to do it, the AV room or something like that. But mind you, the same girl, Effie, she was there watching from the corner, looking at everything that he was doing. So that's the crazy thing about that. I'm wondering if she could, I wonder if she was working with Vincent, but there's no way because she said the competition. So he couldn't be competition if he was doing the stuff for Vincent, so that don't make sense. So Effie, of course we know it's her. She ends up telling the dean what he was doing, and instead of pressing charges, they actually expelled him from the school, called his mama up, and had him remove all his stuff. The odd thing about it is when he looked down on the table before he leave with his stuff, right? He notices that, I believe, I'm not a chess player, but I think if I had to guess, it had to be either the king or the queen piece that was knocked over. So just kind of tell you that you're taken off of your throne. I felt like that was so symbolic. And I love shit like that. Like, I love stuff that, like, you don't even have to hear the words in order to get a, like, symbolic meaning. You know, I love stuff like that. I love poetry. I love shit that's, like, real deep. You know, it makes you think. So that right there was like, yo, that shit is crazy. He kind of looked like he caught on because he looked at it and he was just like, So, yeah, he ends up leaving or whatever. He had to get out of the school. And, of course, his mother's upset. She tells his father about it. He was upset as well and try to yoke him up. And, yeah, you know how that goes. Proctor gave his daughter, when they moved into Jaime's house, he ended up giving his daughter a locket with a little SD card in it. And he told her that this is like insurance if anything happens to him. So that's his secrets. Make sure she keeps it safe. So I'm like, yo, now I'm just kind of thinking about that, like, now that I'm reading, like, I'm just like, yo, like, what is on that shit? He probably giving up everybody. Like, you know what? I'm dead, and it's by one of these people. So you know what? Shit's about to go down. Okay? So, after that happened, there was another scene where they showed that Tasha, she's like, yo, she's in a bad state right now, and she's asking Tommy for money. I mean, at the end of the day, it's kind of good that he got expelled because they couldn't really afford it. Well, she couldn't really afford it. But I don't know if what's his name was paying it by himself or what, the school. But, I mean, he could give that money to her now since he's not in school. I mean, that would only be right. But then again, he was having his own financial difficulties. So at the end of the day, probably in the back of his head, he's like, well, this is kind of a big help. Because, yeah, he's in a lot of financial big money debt right now. My throat's starting to feel it. But, yeah, so Tasha asked Tommy for money. And he was just like, nah, I can't do it. And she's like, what? Like, he was the one that asked if she needed any help before. And she was being so prideful. Now that she actually wants some help, he's like, nah. She's like, why? He's like, when Keisha saw you the other day, she was upset, and I can't risk it. And she's like, seriously? At the end of the day, he didn't even, I mean, I don't know how long he knew her, but I'm pretty sure he didn't know her as long as he knew Tasha. Yeah, that's his girl, and he has to have loyalty to his girl, but I feel like they've been through so much that, I don't know. Because if I was the girl, I would F somebody up if you giving money to my enemies. Like, that would be a big, big problem. But, on the flip side, I look at it, and this could be the Pisces in me, I look at it from the other standpoint of being a friend that's known you for so many years, gave you food, gave you a place to stay if you needed, always held you down, made sure you stayed out of trouble. And for you to kind of tell me no when I finally asked you for help, that's an effed up situation. And it's for some chick, So she kind of messed up too because she told him that Proctor was at Jaime's house when she went over there to tell him what happened with Tyriq, about the whole drug situation. So that was mess up number one. And mess up number two was she ended up looking at him in his face. And after he said that, she's like, is the pussy that good? Remember, you felt the same way about Holly. And, that's a real sore spot for him. So all of a sudden, you see the rage come in his eyes. And I'm like, girl, you better get out this car right now. But he had the courtesy of letting her know, like, there's something I got to take care of. You got to go. You got to go. So Tommy, he ends up going to the Maria, the informant's house. And while he's there, oddly enough, there's Saks talking to her. Saks ends up slipping up by saying, well, not even slipping up, they was just having a regular conversation thinking that nobody was around. He says that Proctor is going to go on the stand and Proctor is going to, he's going to go ahead and testify or whatever. So as soon as Tommy heard that, it's like, clook, clocked it. All right, I see what he's doing. He's playing the field, and I'm going to make sure that field is buttoned the fuck up, So I'm like, damn. I'm like, this can't be good. This can't. I see something bad going to happen. Because Tommy's a crazy dude. So, yeah, once Saks leaves, Tommy comes out the closet with his silencer, and he shoots her point-blank range right in her forehead. So, military style. So, yeah, it was a done deal for her. She didn't even have a chance. And the crazy thing about it is, like, she was about to snitch on the dude, and I'm not all one of those people with the code of snitching and this and that. Like, that's not, I mean, I guess I never really had to deal with stuff like that, so. But the thing I didn't like about this chick was the fact that you took the money, but you were still willing to talk, to tell on him. You know what I mean? If you feel like, if you have so much integrity, then what you should have did while he was there is say, I'm sorry, I can't accept your money. I'm going to do what I have to do. Or mail it back to him. I'm pretty sure you could find a location for him or whatever. But by you accepting the money and you there playing with the money, you know, looking at it all like, yeah, what I'm about to buy, you know, you just messing yourself up. That was messed up of her. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that didn't end too well for her. It was one of those situations. Tommy, Tommy, he ends up, well, before I get to that, there's like so many parts I want to talk about, but I'm like, wait, let's kind of go in some kind of order so that we don't give away too much too fast. So, Jamie Ghost, he is having dinner with Romona, but then he tells her, like, after they finish talking and everything, he thanks her for the dinner and tells her that he has to take care of something that he should have a long time ago. So this mother effer ends up going to Maria's house, and he finds out she's already dead. So it's nothing he really has to do. He just picks up the envelope. So, you know, there's no situation there. You know, there's nothing tracing back to him because the envelope, I don't know if you could get prints off an envelope, but obviously he gave it to her. But the money was gone. So, yeah, we know that Tommy took it. I wonder if Tommy's going to give him back the money. Probably if they were friends, right? But, and the thing that I didn't like about that, the fact that Tommy killed her is like, they're waiting for James to go ahead and kill her. So now it's going to kind of look like he killed her because she was about to testify against him. So it's looking real shady on his part right now. So Tommy, he calls up Tariq because obviously now he knows that Proctor is at his house. He calls up Tariq and he's like, yo, talks to him real quick about the drug situation. And he's like, yo, can you go ahead and leave the back exit door open? And he's like, are you going to kill my dad? I thought you said you'd give me the heads up when you do. And he was like, nah, it's not for him. So he didn't say who it was for or what was going on. But Tariq starts walking. I guess he was about to go out because he told him to get the F out of there. So he starts walking. He hears somebody crying. It was a little girl, Proctor's daughter. She was looking at pictures of her mother who recently passed away. And this shit broke my heart. Like, it literally broke my heart. I'm there. The tears didn't come out, but they was real close. Okay. So he tells her to come to the store with him to get some treats. And she agrees, you know, put a smile on her face. And this was pretty much to get her out of the house. Now, moments later, while they're out, here comes Tommy through that door. And he comes with, what is this, an AK-47? I don't know my guns in them, so y'all could correct me. It was some fast shooting gun. And he starts blasting up James' apartment in search for Proctor. Like, Proctor put up a good fight, though. Like, I gotta admit, like, this, it was a good scene. This one was really good. I was proud of him for at least trying. Thank goodness his cousin had gave him that gun, so at least it gave him a little bit of a fighting chance. But the gun that Tommy had and the gun that this dude had was no comparison. You know what I mean? And he ain't no shooter, so he ain't really about that life. He ain't really know, like, you know. And at the end of the day, the bullets ended up running out. And I'm like, yo, this is a real nice apartment, a real nice building. I'm surprised the cops didn't come a little bit faster. You know what I mean? Like, if it was the hood, I understand. Michael Brown, you know what I mean? I get it. But this ain't the hood. This was a nice neighborhood in, like, Manhattan or something. So anyway, he goes ahead and he goes to the room where his daughter was staying. He couldn't find her, so he calls her phone. And he just kind of tells her, asks her where she is. You know, now he knows that she's not in the house, so that's a relief for him. It's like he can die a little better knowing that his daughter will be okay. So he's like, go to your uncle's house. And he's like, she's like, am I going to see you later? He was like, no. And that right there, you know, it was such one of those moments that just kind of put goosies on me and just kind of chills throughout my body, because I'm like, yo, she just lost her mother. Now she lost her father. And her father loved her. Like, he would do anything for her. That's kind of how he got into that particular position, you know, because he wasn't really the type. He protected these guys so much, you know what I mean? But Saks is like, he's out for blood, and he's putting everybody in these tough situations where it's like they feel like they have to tell him stuff. Otherwise, they're not going to, something's going to happen to something or somebody that's close to them. You know what I mean? Like, he knows how to kind of like dangle the puppet strings, in a sense. So yeah, he had him cornered in the room after he finished talking to his daughter, you know, and he put up the fight, try to shoot, gun stopped working, so it's like, boom, 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 got him, yo. But he said some last words, I didn't write it down, I forgot what he said, but it was powerful. You know, I was like, yes, going down like a G. Like, he was one of my favorite characters. But at the end of the day, this is the last season, so it's okay. You know, if this was one of the other seasons, I would have been highly disappointed. So I'm wondering who's going to defend them now. You know what I mean? Like, they're going to need a lawyer, and now they're going to have to, like, talk to somebody, make sure this person's going to be a real good defender. That dude was good. Like, real good. But, and you know what? I feel like Tariq was effed up for this. You know why? Because Tariq knew at the end of the day, especially when he heard the little girl talking to her father, she knew. Like, I mean, he knew. You know what? He knew what was up. By the time he saw the little girl in there and she said who she was, like, he knew what was going down. And he could have stopped it. He didn't have to still leave the door open. You know what I mean? But he chose to do that. That was a choice. And he's old enough to know, like, all right, I don't have, like, I can't say he's a little kid, he gets a pass. Nah, I don't know what is he, 17 years old? You old enough to make some decisions for yourself, because you've been making some foolish ass decisions. So I just felt like that was stupid. You know what I mean? So karma kind of caught up with him real fast. All of a sudden, when he drops the little girl off at her uncle's house, gives him a nod. Like, bitch, you the reason that this shit went down. Don't be nodding at him. All of a sudden, you see a black car pull up, and who was it? Vincent and his goons. They were like, we've been following you since you was wherever you was at, downtown, and you're coming with us. Because pretty much you played with them. He told him, before he gave him the products, he told him to not play with him or play with his stuff. So you messing with this man's integrity, this man's business. Like, at the end of the day, regardless of what kind of business it is, this is a business. And people expect their products to be a certain, you know, at a certain capacity or whatever. Like, they expect it to be at a certain level. If it's not at their level, or if they're not getting high, they're going to know that something's wrong. Like, you don't get high off of aspirin. Your blood thins out. That's what happens. So you could actually put some people in a bad position. I mean, at the end of the day, they're using it for bad reasons, but you get it. So when Jaime got home, he was flabbergasted. He there asking for his son, you know, but his son was good. That's not what he had to worry about. Bianca and them let him know that Proctor was dead. Like, his house looked like ruins. Everywhere, all you see is gunshots. And she's just like, who's trying to kill you? Because this is the second person that you're connected to that's dead. So something is going on here. It's like, we connecting the dots and it all points back to you. So Tariq calls his dad. So he's like, excuse me, I gotta go. My son's calling me. Meanwhile, Tommy gets a text as well from Tariq, a 911 text. So both of them have to meet up at a certain location. Tommy was like, yo, I knew you was setting me up. Nah, it wasn't even about that. All of them, actually, both of them got set up by Vincent. So now Vincent is here, like, your son messed with the integrity of my business, and now he has to pay me. No, he was like, he's like, oh, I'm gonna kill him. That's what Ghost said. So he's like, no, actually, I'm going to kill him if you guys don't give me $2 million within 24 hours. I'm just like, woo! Keisha, you said the man was doing well. Is he doing this well? Because you know that's his godson. So, and regardless of anything that's going on with him and Ghost, he still loves that boy. And Ghost, that's his son. Like, he won't do anything to protect him, especially since I know he kind of feels like he wasn't able to protect his daughter. So, that's the last twin left. So, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. Because I'm pretty sure the mothers would hate him for life after this. Like, she can't even deal with another death. Like, he didn't even deal very well with the death at the time that it happened. So, yeah, shit is crazy right now. And I want to see how this is going to turn around. But like you said in the comments, yeah, Jason and Vincent need to go because they're money suckers right now. So, yeah, it's crazy. Alright guys, so thanks for watching. Look forward to seeing your comments down below and reading them. Be sure to stay fabulous, live free, and soar limitless. I'll see you on the next one. Laters!